Hello YouTube and welcome back to World of Warships with Wadres. And today's battles, well, they're gonna be a couple of the better battles that I've had, at least from the previous week. So these battles are actually about a week or so old, but they were a couple of very phenomenal battles from my personal perspective in both my HMS Neptune and USS Buffalo, which are both Tier 9 regular tech line cruisers. You've got the Neptune, which is Tier 9 British light cruiser, and of course the Buffalo is the Tier 9 American regular line heavy cruiser. And they're just overall some nice, decent battles, and I figured they would be good battles to just kind of have running in the background while I talk about a couple of other things. First and foremost, I do kind of apologize for my minimal presence over the last couple of weeks. Let's just say work and life in general have just kind of been dragging me down a little bit, and I've just been not quite feeling it. So I apologize in that I've just been slacking off, just enjoying playing the games again for a little while instead of actually really getting into doing any of the videos. It also hasn't exactly helped that there have been a few things going on in a couple of the games anyway, where I've just been focusing on playing the games to get those things done instead of, again, worrying about trying to get YouTube videos put together. That being said, there have been a couple of shining examples. There were the two battles that you're going to be seeing today. I also have had a couple of nice battles in World of Warplanes over the last couple of days, and you can expect to see one or two of those. But that's going to take me a little bit of time to get together overall. And hopefully I should get at least the videos that I would like to put out done within the next couple of days. So we'll see how that goes overall. Something else that I've been trying to get myself into with mixed results is World of Tanks, believe it or not. Yes, I've actually gone over to the dark side and started playing the tanks game as well. I haven't been playing it much, mind you. I've been primarily focusing on World of Warplanes, trying to get a couple of missions there done for a couple of the new Russian bombers that they've got there. But as a result, my sole progression in World of Tanks has basically been up to Tier 3, I think. Yeah, Tier 3 Russian SPG. I'm wanting to work with the artillery pieces first because I just think they're interesting, to say the least, and honestly I kind of prefer playing sniper roles or whatever over the course of matches anyway. At least until I start getting a little bit more the hang of the game mechanics, whatever, and I suppose SPGs really aren't quite the best way to do that, but you know what, to each their own. And I'm certainly going to take full advantage of what I can. But, yeah. That being said, don't expect to see any World of Tanks videos anytime soon. I can pretty much guarantee that any battle I'm taking part in right now, partly because of seal clubbers, so on and so forth, yeah, my matches just suck no matter what I do. So, yeah, there's... Don't expect to see any videos from me regarding World of Tanks, at least until I've gotten a much better handle on what I'm doing and am working on higher tiers where I can at least be somewhat assured that my battles are going to be a little bit better. As far as other things though, I mean, in life in general, I mean, things are just kind of drilling on forwards as always. Work is a pain in the ass. Life in general is just a roundabout pain in the ass. So just kind of everything's... I could be feeling a lot better about life, to be sure. It also doesn't exactly help right at the moment that on and off, my mom does have kittens in the rescue right now. In fact, there are 12 bottle feeding babies in the rescue right now, which is really, really fun when I have to assume some of the feedings while my mom goes out to do work and whatnot, or errands, or any other number of things. I don't think people quite understand the fact that it actually takes the better part of an hour to feed these kittens when you consider that there are 12 of them. They are all the same age, fortunately, so they are on the same schedule, but it takes the better part of an hour to feed all of them in one sitting. So yeah, it's a little bit of a nuisance, and to be perfectly honest, when the feedings take place in the middle of the night and I'm up until like 4 in the morning on a regular basis anyway, playing tanks, warships, warplanes, whatever, and right now their primary feeding overnight is like 6 or 7 in the morning. Well, let's just say my sleep schedule is entirely out of whack. So trying to get sleep right at the moment is kind of fun as well. In fact, for the last week, there were a couple of times where when the kittens were younger, their feeding schedule was a little bit tighter. Yeah, let's just say I didn't get any reasonable amount of sleep at all, and that kind of really impacts my ability, let alone my desire to want to get on and do YouTube videos anyway. If any of you want kitten pictures, I will try to come up with something. But I'm not going to go out of my way to post anything unless you all think that maybe it's something you would be interested in seeing, just to prove that I'm not pulling your leg or something. I mean, other than that, life's just been droning on. Work is... well, it's been interesting. We've had a couple of late nights at work, a couple of early nights where we've just finished up early, finished up late, whatever, and you know, on the early nights, I'm happy to get home and I just want to sit down and play games while I can. On the late nights, I really just want to play to try and get something in, at least on some of the games. So yeah, and on top of the fact that when you consider that on the weekends especially, I'm usually at work like 2 to 11 on a regular basis. Yeah, my time to actually produce YouTube videos on the weekends, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is pretty much non-existent. I'm literally relying on my days off, usually for the opportunity to do YouTube videos at all, and that's like once or twice a week. So occasionally I'll try to get out like quick videos on the regular weekdays where I'm only working like 4 to 11, but even then it's still sometimes I just don't have the videos, I don't have the content to actually put together, so I end up starting to play the games and just forget to actually set anything aside to actually be worth putting videos together. So there is that as well. One of the other things in regards to some of the videos that I could potentially do, especially with World of Warplanes, is the fact that I've been playing my bombers a lot lately, which normally that wouldn't I don't suppose that would be too much of a problem. It would give a little bit of insight into bomber gameplay especially, but here's the rub. I'm not in the habit of actually recording my matches when I go in to play the game. And, well, if there's one thing that the replays for World of Warplanes do not show, it is the actual bomber reticle view. So you basically just kind of get to see me flying around in circles and see my points marker tick off, but you don't actually get to see any of what I'm actually doing. So yeah, it kind of lends for very boring videos, even if the matches themselves are, in a couple of rare cases, rather spectacular. So needless to say, I've been playing a lot of warplanes. I've certainly had battles that could have made for interesting videos, or at least decent videos, but I haven't recorded them in a format where they would actually be watchable and quite understandable in the regard that would make sense for the game, for even just the channel as a whole. So that's one of the things that I'm having to contend with there. And the other thing, of course, is I don't know when any of these battles are going to come along, so it's not like I'm going to sit there recording every single match as I'm playing through World of Warplanes, especially when the matches are upwards of 10 minutes long in some cases. And, well, a 10-minute long video is probably somewhere along the lines of 1 or 2 gig on my hard drive. So, and granted, while I do certainly have the hard drive space, it's also having to go through the videos afterwards and delete the ones that aren't viable, and so, yeah, it can be a pain in the ass. And I suppose it's something that I probably should start doing, especially with the bomber replays, or the bomber wanting to do bomber videos. But in that regard, I think that's more just on me than anything else, and really how far I feel like going to actually try and get some of these videos out there. Again, especially in regards to bombers, which are relatively new in several respects to World of Warplanes. They certainly aren't the established role aircraft like the heavy fighters or even just the regular multi-role fighters. They've only been in World Warplanes, I think, for about a year now. And, well, yeah, it's... I don't think I've seen... well, granted, I haven't exactly gone out of my way looking for World of Warplanes YouTube videos or whatever, but there's just not much out there, I think, to go over them. And I suppose, in part, that's also because their gameplay is, if you're playing them right, kind of boring, actually. You basically just kind of set yourself at high altitude above AA fire, and where most of the regular fighters, aside from heavy fighters, aren't going to get to you, and just kind of basically spam your bomb drop keys. You do, there are some other aspects that kind of play into it as far as making it a little bit more challenging, I suppose, but I think that kind of explains a little bit of my, a little bit of the consternation with bombers, and I guess their capability of being portrayed accurately by YouTube videos. So, ay. Now, one of the things that I am also going to say is that I would like to, as I play World of Tanks a little bit more, I would like to try and start putting together World of Tanks videos, but before I get that far, I need to have the progression, I need to have the experience, and just overall get used to playing a completely different game. And get used to the armor profiles, ballistics, so on and so forth. I mean, for the most part, if I jump into a regular tank right now, I think the longest I've lived has been like 3 minutes. And that was for a training battle, believe it or not. That wasn't actually an actual match. My actual match longevity is substantially shorter, dare I say. So yeah, I've got a lot to learn. I've got a lot that I need to pick up before I even consider any of my World of Tanks gameplay to be even remotely viable in the long run at all. So, but if I get to a point where I'm comfortable with my gameplay enough and feel like I can actually submit videos, then yeah, I'll start doing that for World of Tanks as well, where I remember to actually do recording for that as well. So there's that. And just overall, again, life in general, it's always going to be there. It's going to be causing obstacles to actually producing content, so on and so forth. And that's the case, I think, for just about anybody, especially since I'm not doing this for any monetary gain or anything. So this is not my sole source of income. This is not my... In fact, it's not ever personally going to be a source of income for me, among other things. So that's just one of the things that I guess my viewers are just kind of going to have to be patient with, is sometimes life is just going to make me not want to spend hours upon hours working on YouTube videos. Anyway, all of that having been said, the two battles going on in the background, they were rather decent. I mean, 100,000 damage in the Neptune, which was reasonably respectable. I was absolutely floored by this match in the Buffalo, 143,000 damage overall, 4 kills. I mean, I've never seen that in a cruiser, at least not an American cruiser at the high tiers, to at least to date. I'm sure others have definitely seen this in other regards, but it's not something that I'm used to seeing, especially in co-op matches, especially considering the battleships that I was facing off against either. So yeah, I was very much surprised by the outcome of the Buffalo match, especially. Even the Neptune match, it wasn't exactly outstanding in some regards, but it's definitely better than my average, if I do say so. So definitely two videos that I thought, or two battles that I thought were very much worth posting. Overall, not bad battles. And I've been having some interesting matches over the last week or so with World of Warplanes as well. Again, unfortunately, I just can't post many of them because they've been... I would have been recording them from replays of bombers, and they just wouldn't be... They would not be good examples of the gameplay. Now, that's not to say that I haven't had other decent battles, but nothing that I thought was really worth sharing. Just kind of been trying to grind out missions, grind out objectives, and, well, anybody who knows that trying to grind out specific missions or focus on specific mission completion, especially in World of Warplanes, they kind of get the understanding that those matches really aren't going to be the greatest unless things just kind of tend to work out in players' favor overall. So, yeah. Anyway, on that note, I suppose I shall stop trying to stall for a little bit of time to get through the actual battle results here and let you all go. I hope you all have enjoyed the video and enjoyed the battles. I do apologize for just kind of ranting on about things that have been going on and why I haven't been doing things. I suppose I'm just kind of making up excuses as I go in some ways, and I suppose I really kind of need to just kind of get my nose back to the grindstone, so to speak. Anyway, on that note, again, I'll let you all go. I hope you all take care. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I hope to have reasonable content somewhat soon. And I will catch you all again later. Happy hunting out there, folks.